Hey, it's time and Dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Saturday. And Saturday here is I go to Turnersville, New Jersey and attend a WW workshop with the lovely Marianne. And I come back, share what I've learned, share the meeting topic with you lovelies. So D, how did it go? Now you had a gain the last 2 weeks. I did. It was an expected gain. I'm not going to sit there and say, oh, I expected to lose or maintain. I kind of expected a gain, and I was so okay with that because it is the holidays. And I always say, normal people gain between 12 and 15 pounds between Thanksgiving and New Year's. I only gained, I don't know if it was quite 3 pounds. It was like just under 3 pounds. So I was ecstatic about that. So I was like, to me, it was like, you just might have given me the best gift ever. So how did you do this week? Well, I did go Friday last week because Saturday I wanted to sleep in because it was New Year's Eve, you know. And I did have a really nice New Year's Eve. We had pickies and stuff like that, so I definitely indulged New Year's Eve. But I will tell you, from New Year's Day on to today, I was right back on track. Tracking, and that's what this week's topic is about. And, you know, I'm a big tracker, so we've got a lot to say about that. And when I stepped on the scale today, I was down 0.6. Did I expect to lose all I gained? No. I mean, here's the thing. When you're at the weight I'm at, I'm not going to pull. I mean, the fact that I pulled 0.6, I was shocked. I would have been happy with the same or like 0.2, 0.4. I mean, even a gain of 0.2. The fact I was like, wow, 0.6 is huge for me. Like, when you're at this weight, unless I'm starving myself or skipping meals and not eating, and that's not a way to lose weight. You know, you can't sit there and have a good time on the holidays and then say, oh, well, I'm back on track, and then not eat. No, that's diet mentality. When you sit there and you know, it's diet mentality. And I don't succumb to that. I succumb to back on track. Yeah, I had breakfast day after I had a big meal. You know, it is what it is. You just get back right into lifestyle, and it does catch up. The next few weeks, I'm hoping to see the trend keep going. I have, let me think, 6 pounds to get back to goal, I think. Yes, well, the 2 pounds over goal, which they consider that back a goal, so I'm good with that. So I'm going to be working on those 6 pounds, so I'm excited. So it was a good week. You know, not more I can say about that, but let's get into the topic of the week. I didn't get the recipe, and the girl next to me said they didn't have any. I don't know what that meant, whether they're not going to have any anymore, or they just didn't have any this week. So, and it was crazy busy. So I was going to ask, and it was, you know, first Saturday, you know, it's going to be a huge influx. Our meeting was crowded. It's nice to see. I hope we see it all year, because it's just not about the first of the month, the first month of the year. It's about the whole year. Let's see what WW has to say about tracking. You know my feelings on tracking. I track so I could eat. So let's see what WW has to say. Beth Jane, pop quiz. What are 3 things you do every day without even thinking? Maybe it's brushing your teeth, making your bed, checking on your email. To recap the weight loss benefits of tracking, it's just to make another part of our routine. Try this. Which tracking style makes you feel easier for you? Tracking an entire day of food or as you go. Saved often tracking foods and meals, or tracking from scratch every time, or tracking before or during or after you eat. I track before I eat. And here's the funny thing. When people, like, and we talked about it at the meeting today, when people complain about, oh, I have to track. How many of us sit down, eat, and have our phones and we're scrolling through Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, answering emails? I know we're all guilty of it. So why not take, and it takes seconds, not even minutes, seconds to sit there. And I always suggest the quick add. When I started using quick add, my tracking got much more proficient because I didn't have to sit, like, we pretty much eat the same things. You know, we know what points are. So I go in there, I hit track, and then I hit quick add, and then I'm eating breakfast. English muffin, 2 points. Egg, 0. 1 piece of Canadian bacon, 0. Breakfast Sammy, 2 points. Track, eat. Overnight oats. I know what my oats are. My oats are pretty much 4 or 5 points. I decide what I have in there, what I have on top, and then I hit oats, 5, track, eat. It takes me literal seconds. And the reward for tracking is eating. So the ones that say, I don't have time to, you do. It's not, it is definitely something to get into as a routine. And a lot of people I know complain, do I have to track for the rest of my life? Well, I'd say maybe. And here's the bottom line for that one. It's a few seconds before every meal. And if that keeps your weight at bay, is that not worth it? So let's see what else strategy she has. Taking pictures of a meal to track later. Track at certain times of the day. Use the barcode scanner. If you have something like I barcode scan, if you know, even if I know the English muffin is 2 points, but sometimes if I'm there cooking it, as my egg is cooking, I grab my and I zap it. Track while you're cooking your dinner. You know what your dinner is. You do, or at least you should before you sit down. Track it while you're cooking. Listen to that today. That's a great thing, because if we're cooking, we know what our dinner is going to be. So track it while you're cooking. Use the quick add feature and guesstimate points. Absolutely. Guesstimate points. Give it something. Absolutely. I wouldn't over guesstimate though. Some people just, I gave it 10. Really? Was it 10? Was it more like 6? Use your answers to determine how you will create a tracking routine. I'll track meals and snacks as I go, and I'll use the barcode scanner, save favorites, and guesstimate points when needed. When is the best time to track? I'll set aside a few minutes after every meal. I said before, I'm telling you, it takes seconds. And I will tell you, I do miss the wins. That's when I became a proficient tracker, when we had something to shoot for, even though that stuff was crap. I mean, you weren't getting like gold. Well, you were at one point. It just was nice to get something fun. And it definitely was a challenge. And I don't do challenges. You know that. I'm not a challenge person. But that was fun. It was fun to grab those points. I got a speaker. I got wine glasses. I got a spinner. I got fabulous socks. I got straws. I got earrings. I mean, that's just off the top of my head. It just was, many cups and stuff. I miss the wins. WW, bring the wins back. Please. Let's dive a little deeper. We talk about tracking. And if you're new around here, hi and welcome. Get ready to hear a lot, because the science is crystal clear. People who track more often lose more weight. True. It's true, because you're more accountable. You don't know if you don't know what you're eating. Like, that's why I say I track to eat. So I know if we happen to be out and there is some kind of snack thing, I know if I can have that snack or not, because I know how many points I have left for the day. Tracking makes you more aware of what and how much you're eating, and awareness is key to making small but meaningful changes. What's tricky? Tracking takes time and effort. We are humans. We are more likely to do stuff that's easy. That's why I do Weight Watchers, because it's easy. I tell you this, people ask me, I get this question almost every day. Dee, why don't you count calories? You're struggling. Why don't you count calories? I can't. It's not easy. This is simplified. We are more apt to do things that are easy. At least I know I am. So leading into what makes you tracking seem seamless for you helps you stick with it. Some other tracking hacks. Set guidelines and reminders. For example, if you track every other meal, open the app as soon as you clear your plate. For at all once trackers, try setting an alarm on your phone. You can set an alarm. I find just eating is a reward for tracking. So I tend to do it before. Well, I sit down to eat, so you're right there. We all have our phone there. Don't tell me you don't have your phone there, because I know you do. So pick it up, and it's just, and I know you know the points. Forget perfection. Forget it. Perfection, overrated. Tracking consistently with fewer details is better than getting burned out and trying to lose every single bite. You can't track every single bite. Let's put that out there. We talked about that today. Bite, licks, and taste. The leader brought it up today. Nobody gained weight with bite, licks, and tastes. They say they did. I don't know. I didn't gain weight with bite, licks, and taste. I gained weight eating double portions. And does a bite, lick, and taste equal a second portion? It doesn't. It is a bite. It is a lick. So it doesn't. So I think sometimes we get hyper-focused on those things and not the tasks at hand by tracking consistently. As you start this year, sharpness or creating habits around them, what's most effective weight loss behaviors like tracking help pave the way to success. After all, we like things that are easy, right? Yeah. A few focused goals feel a lot easier and more doable than attempting to make a whole routine. Simple baby steps. We talked about that today. You need to get this down before you do anything else. You have to track. It is so important. And track honestly. I mean, a lot of us, we talked about this in the meeting as well. Like, we see something, like we go to not Wendy's, it was Chick-fil-A. Peppermint shakes are 35 points. Oh, I'm not putting that in there. Okay, you're not going to put it in your tracker. But if you're eating it, you still ate the 35 points. So by not putting it in there, doesn't change the fact, excuse me, that you ate it. And guess what? It's okay that you eat it. You have points. You have dailies and weeklies. Don't be ashamed. Just because you didn't track it doesn't mean you didn't eat it. And that's just a huge thing. It's one thing to track. It's one thing to honestly track. The more honest you are with yourself, the more you'll be successful in your journey. You have to admit the faults that you have. And, it's hard. I tell you this all the time. Admitting my shortcomings was what propelled me to get to goal. I never admitted I overate. I never admitted that. And then once I said my weight and that I had a problem with food and I had a problem with portions and I had an eating, I have a problem with binge eating. I think I have what you call I need a better relationship with food. I'm getting there. It doesn't happen overnight. Relationships with food do not happen overnight. It could take years. I mean, when you're heavy for a certain amount of time, you don't wake up one day and say, oh, my relationship with food is great now because I've been on Weight Watchers for 6 months. It doesn't work like that. And a few things that were said to me that I disagreed with were this is your free day. Just because it's your weigh-in day doesn't mean it's your free-for-all. And I say that because it used to be my free-for-all. Oh my God, it's my no track day. It's my eat what I want day. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I earned this. It's hard to get back because you've had a really good week. Why would you F it up with a big ass meal? You don't feel good. You feel bloated. You run out of points, and then your mindset is blown. I will tell you, this journey is 150% mindset. So if you're in a really good zone and you have this pig out day, that effed with my mindset forever. I could not get back. So I changed a few years ago. It's been a couple of years now, I would say, right before COVID, that I would fit in foods. If I wanted cake, hence where the mug cakes, the loaf cakes came from, the fancy overnight oats. How could I use this food for low points, low calories, and be satisfied? So that's where I create. I create things that have the note of those things. So I'm not sitting there craving them. I eat chips. I don't sit there and binge on a bag of chips. Why? Because I see them on my lunch. I have them with lunch. They may be a lighter version, but they have that salty crunch that I need. So I am not a person who encourages the binge day, the weigh-in binge day, the weigh-in no track day, because I've been there. And I know how it just kind of sets you back. And it does affect the scale. It does, because you could have a better loss on that scale if you just spread it out during the week. Don't throw it all in on one day. And it messes with your head. I'm telling you from fact, it messes with your head. And you're in a good place. So why mess with that? If you're in the zone and it's lifestyle. And in lifestyles, we fit things in. We don't binge on one day and pork out. Now, vacations are different because you're on vacation. And sometimes you could take a vacation from your lifestyle. That's what the holidays are for. We're talking about day in, week out, going to your meetings, and it's a no track day. I'm going to have what I want. And it's when we feel like we're entitled to it. See, there's the entitlement that I thought I had. I was entitled to eat what I wanted. I worked hard all week. I'm entitled to eat this, whatever, and I'm not worrying about it. I'm not entitled. I need to reel things in, have things. And sometimes when you just have half of something, like that peppermint milkshake from Chick-fil-A, maybe get a small, maybe share it with somebody and have half. Wouldn't you rather have a little bit of milkshake than no milkshake? See, that's what I started telling myself. Denise, do you want one cookie or do you want no cookies? I'll take one cookie and be happy with it. Do you want, one mug cake or no cake? I'll take a mug cake, and dang, those mug cakes are good. So I find a way to fit in because I need cakes and cookies and chocolate. That's me. Hi, I'm Denise. Nice to meet you. I like cakes, cookies, and chocolate. And how do I fit that into my life? X, and Y. You have to be accountable. You have to, I'm going to say, I have a problem. I have a problem with control. I have a problem with portions. I have a problem saying no. So I have to work on that. So tracking keeps me mindful of what I have left in the bank. Would I go to the store if I don't know how much money I have in my purse? You have a debit card. Would you use your debit card if you don't know how much money you have in the bank? No, you wouldn't debit something if you didn't know how much you had in the bank. So you need to know what you have in your food bank before you eat something. It's just, and I will also say this, the more you do it, the more of a habit it becomes, the quicker you'll be, the more diligent you'll be, the more proficient you'll be, and you will be a tracker like nobody's business. And you won't think of it as punishment. I think a lot of us think of it, you're being punished. Weight Watchers is punishing me because I eat too much, so they make me track. Well, I don't track. And track how you want to track. Maybe you're a person that likes to do a paper tracker, a journal. Maybe you're a journaler. I tend to be the app. That's my jam. And know what works for you. Like some people love to write their feelings out. That's why I made this. If you want one of these, email me at dishwithd.com and I will send you one. Because a water tracker has the food. And look, it's on there. Snacks. Because you should be eating snacks. Just saying. I don't know anybody that doesn't eat, well, I do know a few people don't eat snacks, but who should eat snacks. But, foods I should try, foods I shouldn't try. Notes, thoughts. Some people need to write out their feelings. It helps to put it down and to own it. Absolutely. And are you a bad person? No. Because you eat too much? You're just a person that needs discipline, controlled discipline with your eating. Yeah, I know there's people that don't. I'm just not one of them. I need to discipline myself. I need to be honest with myself. And here's the thing, if I want it, I'm going to find a way to have it. So why not have it in a controlled, disciplined way? I mean, you just know, there's times where you're going to want something. It's life. And when you treat it like a lifestyle and not like this, this good things happen. And I want good things to happen for you. I do. I want you to be in control. And I want you to feel good about yourself and about your choices and about the way you look. I know a lot of us don't feel good about the way we look, but I want you to feel good about the way we look. This is about, the theme is the 4 keys of weight loss, the pillars of Weight Watchers. So the first one, of course, is tracking. I don't know, how to build a tracking checkbook over the next 4 weeks, the monthly technique. It doesn't say, are they all going to be about tracking? You can spend a whole month on tracking, quite honestly. It definitely is important. We have to know what we're eating. Like I said, you can't go to the store without knowing how much money you have on you. So you can't eat unless you know how much points you have in the bank. And remember, you also have that overdraft with your weekly. So never forget that. Never forget. Don't think you only have 23 points a day, because you don't. You have weeklies, and that weekly bank grows by exercise or fitness. And if you have rollovers, if you happen not to eat 23, maybe you ate 20, then throw all over to those weeklies and you have a little bit extra. Because if you leveled a lot of zeros, you might have extra points. And that's how you get to bank points, is using those 0-point foods, utilizing those proteins, utilizing those vegetables, utilizing things that are 0 points. So eggs, yogurts. I mean, I've been eating Progurt bowls all week. Maybe that's why I lost. I've been up in that protein this week. That could be a key. I mean, the Progurt bowls alone have 45 grams of protein. And they're filling and they're good. And it levels my zeros. Like, I just had to count my protein powder. And the one protein powder was 1 point. The one was 0 points. Like, 0 point protein powder? Like, I had to double check that on the calculator. But yeah, so that is it. I hope that this touched you some way, to just at least give tracking a try. Simplify it. That's the only thing I could give you, is utilize the quick ad. It's definitely your friend. And the more, like I said, the more you do it, you will just automatically grab that phone before you go on Instagram and Facebook. You go into Weight Watchers and you track it. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, you could have Siri, if you have an Apple phone hooked up, or you could just say, Siri, track this. I'm not sure about that one. I don't have Siri tracked with mine because I don't know. It was not working, but I think you could have your Siri tracked in. Or like I said, if you're out, take pictures and then just go home and track it. If you're with, here's the thing. If you're out with people, I get that. You don't want to be picking up your phone up and going, let me track my food. Then just take a quick picture and then continue with the party and then just track it when you get home. It's all good. Be in the moment with your friends. Don't be on your phone when you're out. It's nothing worse than when you're out with people and people have their phone out and stuff like that. So track, my lovelies. Track. Honestly, track. Track the good, the bad, the ugly. You can't, if you bite it, you got to write it. You got to own it. And there's nothing wrong with having a 35-point milkshake. There isn't. You just don't have it all the time. Or like I say, half. We went to Cheesecake Factory last year. And I decided, we're going to Cheesecake Factory. You got to get cheesecake, right? So I was scanning the points for cheesecake. It was 85 points a slice. It was like 85 points. I said to Steve, even if I have half, it's 40 points for a slice of cheesecake. So they had a low carb cheesecake that I think was 30 points a slice. I think. Don't quote me. I don't remember. Or did it cost me 30? No, I think it was 30 points. So we split that. It was pretty good. I will tell you. Because I think it might have cost me 15, which I didn't think was, better than 40. It was delicious. It was really, really good. So just because something says low carb, low fat doesn't necessarily make bad. I mean, I think the low things get a hit on things. Oh, it's not going to be any good. It was fantastic. And I enjoyed every bite of it. Would I have enjoyed a 40 half? I don't know. I'm sure it would have been good. But you know what? That was a concession that I made, and it was delicious. I think the crust had nuts in it or something. It was really good. So it's living life, people. It's living life. And I had a Chinese chicken salad there. It was so good. It was delicious. And we split like a couple appetizers. So that's where I made my concession. Maybe if we didn't have the appetizers, I would have gotten the higher point cheesecake. But I figured, have a little bit of everything. There you go. A little bit of everything. We're going to be talking a lot on these 4 keys this month. So I hope to see you back next week. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D. We are slaying our poundages 1 pound at a time. It is the new year, new you change. What are we doing? We're trying to change ourselves because the old selves didn't work. It's not a challenge. We don't do challenges here. Why don't we do challenges here? Because again, it's a mental thing with me. Challenges have a beginning, have an end. We don't want to have a beginning and an end. We want to make a permanent change, small, permanent changes. So if that is something that you need and you're interested in, join us here. We started last week. We'd love to have you. We're going to be gearing up for week 2. I do a live on Zoom on Monday nights. You're all welcome to join me. Everything is in my Facebook group, Dish with D's Crew. If you do not do Facebook, please email me at dishwithd@yahoo.com and I will hook you up with all the Zoom information. It is 8 p.m. Eastern time, and it's more structured chat, and we talk, we're talking about our change that we want to make and stuff like that. And this is what came of that for last week. So like I said, if you want one of these, let me know if you don't have one. And I will dish with you tomorrow for my new Sunday series, which is kind of really not new. I used to call it meal prep, and I just didn't like the name meal prep. So now it's called What's D Eatin'? What's D Eatin'? Because that's basically what it is, what I'm eating for the week. So, or what I'm eating during the week. So hope you see you there. And I have several fun recipes coming up for you tomorrow. So I will dish with you then. Have a great rest of your day and enjoy your weekend.